Pixels. In a world drowned by an endless, sorrowful rain, where the waters rose to swallow cities and silent civilizations, there was Edasu. He was a craftsman, a dreamer, a relic from an age when hands shaped the world. As the last vestiges of dry land surrendered to the encroaching deluge, a singular, desperate question echoed in the vast, watery expanse. Can Edasu craft a boat to escape a flooded world? This was not just a question of survival. It was a testament to the enduring spirit of creation against the overwhelming force of destruction. The world had become a blank, blue canvas, and Edasu, with his tools and his memories, was the last artist poised to make a mark. His workshop, a solitary peak that once was a mountain, was now an island of dwindling hope, surrounded by the ghosts of a submerged past. The task before him was monumental, a modern-day Genesis in reverse. He needed more than just wood and nails. He needed a vessel that could be a home, a sanctuary, and a seed for a new beginning. The flood had claimed the sprawling forests, the bustling lumberyards, and the rich veins of metal. Edasu was left to scavenge from the remnants of his own drowned life. He salvaged timbers from the skeleton of his ancestral home, its roofline barely breaking the surface like a weathered gravestone. Each piece of wood was heavy with water and memory, whispering tales of laughter in rooms now filled with silent, swirling currents. He pulled copper pipes from sunken structures, their green patina telling stories of the years they had faithfully carried life-giving water, now ironically reclaimed by the very element they once tamed. His tools were his most sacred possessions, extensions of his will. A hand-forged hammer, its head worn smooth by a century of family hands, struck with a familiar, reassuring rhythm. A saw, its teeth painstakingly sharpened each evening, sang a mournful but determined song as it bit into waterlogged oak. The process was a painstaking ballet of reclamation and rebirth. He treated the wood with sealants concocted from pine resin and beeswax, painstakingly harvested from the last resilient trees on his shrinking island. He bent the timbers using steam, a technique passed down through generations, channeling the very essence of the oppressive, humid air into a force for creation. The frame of the boat began to take shape, a skeletal promise against the gray, weeping sky. It was a stark, lonely silhouette, a ribcage of hope, in a world that had lost its breath. As the hull grew, so did the challenges. The relentless rain weakened his materials and chilled him to the bone. The isolation gnawed at his sanity, the only sounds being the lapping of the waves and the cry of a lone seabird. Doubt was a constant, unwelcome companion, whispering insidious questions in the quiet of the night. Was this folly? Was he merely postponing the inevitable, building a coffin instead of an ark? To combat the despair, Edasu filled his work with ritual. He would speak to the wood, apologizing for its disturbance and promising it a new, noble purpose. He would trace the grain with his fingers, feeling the life that once pulsed within it, drawing strength from its resilience. His boat was not just an assembly of materials, it was a collage of stories, a vessel imbued with the spirit of all that was lost. Days bled into weeks, and weeks into an indistinguishable passage of time marked only by the slow, steady progress of his hands. The boat was no longer a mere frame, but a sturdy, seaworthy craft. He had fashioned a small cabin, a tiller, and a mast, ready for a sail he would weave from salvaged fabrics. It was a patchwork of survival, its colors a muted rainbow of a forgotten world. The day he pushed it from the shore of his disappearing island was not one of triumphant celebration, but of quiet, somber resolve. As he guided the vessel into the open water, the peak of his mountain home finally slipped beneath the waves, leaving him utterly alone on the endless ocean. Edasu, the last craftsman, had not simply built a boat. He had crafted a future, a single, defiant vessel sailing toward an unknown horizon, carrying the last embers of humanity in its heart. His journey had just begun. Pixels.